we bought a caravan for $800, fixed it up, and we headed north. It was coming on winter time, so it made logical sense to head north. And I felt, Karen, at that time, a whole lot of weight and pressure just release as we drove kilometers and kilometers out of the CBD, out of the suburbs, and started to get into the bush. And yeah, we just traveled for months, just living on beaches and gathering firewood, and basically started building a retreat, a rainforest retreat on 12 acres in Noosa. And you know, people would come on and they're like, what are you doing? Why are you taking this on? Like, this is a massive project. Now, in my mind, Karen, it was easy. Like, I could see it. I'm like, pop, 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 pop. Yep, I could see it. My reality didn't always reflect my imagination. There was a lot of pain and a lot of turmoil, a lot of heartbreak. I nearly died a couple of times. It all came to a head, Karen, when I was in a mastermind in Bali about 1.5 years ago, and a guy was talking about creating your vision. And as he was talking, dominoes just dropped in my head, and I went back to the hotel room and I just sketched out like a flow chart, and Define Your Vision was born. And what I realized was I was innately a visionary. So Define Your Vision was born, and that's, yeah. So now we've created a process that helps people to, yeah, come back to their hearts and work out who they are and start to ask themselves the right questions to build a vision that makes sense to them, that makes their heart sing. My vision, which is to empower, you know, eventually through the ripple effect, it'll be hundreds of thousands of people over time. And so as people come into my realm and circle, we just nurture them and then take them through the process. We're very transparent to say, hey, look, if the timing is right for you now, you got something big and you're ready to take action and you're good to go, let's hold hand and let's go together. We'll guide you step by step through that. If the timing's not right for you, maybe next time, could be in 6 months, could be in a year. So look at the connections I made. Look at this, what I did. Look what I learned that, and wow, that's huge. That's going to serve me so well later on. But right now, I can't keep going up. I had to go backwards, and right now, this is a time. So instead of getting frustrated and going, oh, I'm getting pissed off because I can't move, you can fight it. You can try and fight it, but it's almost, you know, there's no point in fighting it. Why don't we just go, okay, cool. I've gone through my growth period. Now I'm going to rest. I'm going to recoup. And what you're doing is you're reserving more energy, potential energy, to go again.
That's a good way of looking at it. Actually, I'm a bit of a fighter. So you've given me a bit of a kick in the bum. Maybe I just need to lie on the couch and read some books for a month.
And so literally this is what we do with Define Your Vision, is we take people through their past and we work out what their sabotaging patterns are. What do they love to do? What are their innate strengths? And we do that by, you know, doing a bit of digging in what they've done. And then we bring that to the surface. And once we bring that to the surface, then we can help them and they can work out who they are. There's a lot of revelations and transformations in our challenges. We see a lot of tears, happy tears, sad tears, you know, processing tears, the whole lot. And the beautiful thing is we've got this great support in there. We're like a family in there. We create this really safe environment. But anyway, to answer your question, the whole premise of what we're doing is help people to work out what their values are and to go and create a vision in accordance with their values. Because when they do that, they start to shine. They start to vibrate on a higher frequency. When you're vibrating on a higher frequency, you're out there now, and the positive law of attraction comes in. You start attracting your ideal customers, the people, your tribe, the people that you're meant to be around, which makes you feel good, right? So it's all about feeling again. So when we take responsibility for our own lives, work out what our values are, and go and shine a light for people that are around, that are depressed, that are sad, that are living their life in accordance with other people's values, all of a sudden, when we take, your children will do what you do, not what you say.
Yep.
And so it's the same in society. I can't stand there and go, oh, go and do that, Karen, and go and do that. And I've got some shit job that drives me crazy. It's like, no, I've got to lead by example and go and shine that light and say, come with me if you want. And the ones that are ready, let's go. And then we can go and create massive change together. And I know that's where your heart's at too, Karen. We've had many conversations, lengthy conversations, and that's just in us. So they're the people that we attract. They're the people we attract.
Yeah. Would you say that your values are really, really the foundation to values is what really matters to you, what you really, really deeply care about. Would you? So, is that a good way for people to start thinking about their values?
Yeah, it's almost like what brings you joy.
Yeah,
What lights you up. I can tell in the second that I start talking to someone and I hit on a value, I see their face light up, I see them smile, I see them get enthused. Like, you can hear me, right? You can hear how I'm talking now about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I love what I'm talking about because I'm talking in my values. So whenever you're talking to someone and you see them start to light up and get passionate about something, it's like, oh, there's a value in there somewhere.
yeah,
So essentially, it's just, I guess it's a really good question again, Karen. It's just what lights you up. You can
yeah,
feel it when you start talking about it or thinking about it. It's just like, yeah, I want more of that. I want to do that. Like, it's just like, I want to go that way.
yeah, yeah,
But so many people suppress that. And see, whatever's suppressed, so it's a law, one of the laws and principles of the universe. Whatever is suppressed has to be expressed.
yeah. I know, as a behavior specialist, I used to always talk about that. It's the same with behaviors of concern, where people are getting hurt. They've been told for so long, don't do this, don't do that. It's like those sausage balloons, I always say, and you're squeezing one end of it.
Yes.
The other end is going to get big and eventually it's going to pop.
Bang.
And it
Yeah.
will not pop in a good way.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you might as well imagine it full of acid and bam,
Yep.
it just goes everywhere.
That's a bloody good analogy around here. And they're so locked into that matrix that when you ask them a question, it's like, if you had an unlimited amount of money and an unlimited amount of time, what would you just do? Most people can't answer that. They'll always be able to tell you what they can't do and what their limiting beliefs are nearly every time. Oh, they'll talk about that all day long because that's their story.
Yeah.
And that's what Define Your Vision is really about. It's educating people on all of these things. And like, because we get people all the time, they're like, I've never thought of it that way. But then what we do is we help people to build momentum through giving them exercise, very small, basic, short exercises, but very, very strategic questions to help them reflect. And, questions are the answer, Karen. When I can sit there all day long and observe something and see something night and day, a trait characteristic, or a behavior in a person, and see it, and I can make a statement. But when I make that statement to them, it goes in one ear and out the other because it's my truth.
Yeah.
When we reframe that statement into a question and get them to go away and ask that question of themselves and come back the next day, they usually come back with a tear in their eye because they had to process it. They now have to own that truth. When you have certainty and confidence in yourself, and you find yourself, whatever happens in the external environment around you doesn't affect you anymore because you're causing the effect. You're causing the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that create your reality, rather than letting your reality create your thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Yeah.
And so this is, once again, part of the education and awareness that we bring for people. It's like, when you can live like that, that's powerful. Because you're become a master creator of your own reality. You can make decisions to guide your life and put your hand on the helm and guide your life the way that you want it to go. And it's not always, it always goes left and right, but generally speaking, you're driving the ship, the general direction that you want, which ideally is in accordance with your values and makes your heart sing. What it all comes down to is self-worth. When you start declaring your self-worth, money is just energy. And so when you do something for someone and you've spent, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my personal development and education, that's worth something. I've given a lot. I've created this whole course that took months and months and months of my time, pain and all the rest of it. And so that is worth something. That has value. So if someone wants to share that knowledge, if I want to share that knowledge, I love giving information away for free. But for someone who wants it all packaged and bundled and they're ready to go, then we're exchanging money for value. It's like, I will give you my value for this. So we really teach the wealth principles in Define Your Vision. And then we actually have specialists. We have people that help people set up a system straight away. So literally, as they come out the back end, they know who they are, they know who their customer is. We've helped them to create a course. We've got a very basic system in place, and then they can go out there and go and start talking to their ideal customer and attracting them. And then as soon as that person pops up, you go, oh, here's a link. It's just, here's a link. And I don't care if you're charging $20 an hour to start with. You've got that system in place. And you might charge $20 an hour. And then after a while, you go, this is Mug's game. I'm actually really helping these people. I'm going to start charging $50 an hour. Then I'm going to start charging $300 an hour, whatever it is, whatever level you go to. But you've got to get that system in place so you can declare your self-worth. Everything starts with, who am I? You know, in most of the scriptures and the Quran and the different religious texts around, they all come back to one thing: is know thyself.
Yeah.
So there's a law as well that's called the law of the one and the many. And when you find yourself, when you find your alignment and your you know who you are, then you vibrate on a higher frequency and you attract the many. So you find out who the one is, and then you attract the many. So we're all about starting at the start. Most entrepreneurs, they're looking for money. You know, they're going out there and they're trying to create this and chase the money, but they're not thinking about what makes your heart sing. It just makes sense to us to start from the start. Karen, I just want to compliment you on the quality of your questions. You asked some really cool ones that I've never been asked before. And, you know, you and I have spent a number of hours on quite a few calls now. And obviously we're big part of a broader network as well of incredible thought leaders. And I just want to acknowledge you as well for the work that you're doing and the light that you're shining. Like on that call when I met you, there was like 30 odd people on there, and I just wanted to speak to Karen because you're shining that light. You know what I mean? You've got that, and I just love you're just real. You know what I mean? There's no fluff and buff. It is how it is. We can tell that straight away. And once again, that's what people are looking for, is authenticity. And I believe that you know who you are far more than most other people out there, in my experience, Karen. You've really come into that. And I'm thrilled that we're moving together forward and you know, helping each other to impact. And that's what it's all about. We're just looking for others like us, right? We're just looking for others like us that want to make a difference and come with us, and we do it together, because it's that we have this intuition inside of us. We innately know what we're supposed to do, but it's our fears and our limiting beliefs that suppress that. And so what I remember exactly the room that I was in Nelson Bay. I was in Nelson Bay, and I don't even know the guy's name. It was a friend of a friend, and we were playing guitar in this room one night. And I had this moment where I had a feeling that I was meant to do something, but that feeling was very small. But I knew it was there. And what I learned to do, I trained myself to magnify that. So whenever I feel that little feeling of intuition, it's like, oh, I should be going there. It's so easy for us and we're programmed to just forget about that and not listen to that. Yeah. And I learned to, I used the word magnify right there on that night. I remember, I'm like, I need to magnify that. And so I've built that like a muscle almost, is when I'm moving and I'm going down the track and either something's congruent with what I want to do or not, then I listen to that internal compass.
It all boils down to the same thing. I mean, you've given a stack of information in all different pockets, you know, all through this podcast. But at the end of the day, it comes down to your values and your vision, and all comes down to your, as you said, your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. You know, and
myself.
Yeah, we've just got to get back in touch with us, don't we? We
100%. I got goosebumps as you say that, Karen. So true.
Well, it's pretty simple, isn't it? Except it's not simple. That's the problem. It's actually a simple thing, but we've over the years have made our life so damn complicated, and we've stacked so much shit on ourselves that you need a chisel and a hammer to get the bloody stuff off. You used to be able to wipe it off with the wet ones when you were a kid, but not now.
Yep. No, it's caked on solid now.
Yeah, it sure is.